What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you had a great weekend. As you can see, I'm in a different setting today. I am so freaking happy to be on vacation. Lord knows I needed one. Um, but yeah, I've been having a great day so far. It's been a wonderful start to the vacation. Hasn't been a bad one. It's been a great one. The room is pretty nice. Um, So yeah, getting into this episode of GH, listen, I don't blame Ava one bit, for moving out of Windermere or storming out of Windermere. I don't blame her because you know what? If I was her, I wouldn't want to stay there either at this moment because it's one thing having Spencer back in the house, but now Esme too. I don't blame Ava for being pissed off. And Nicholas is acting like a total idiot. He's thinking with what's down here instead of what's up here. He's not thinking at all. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad Ava pointed that out to him. Like, this girl has been accused of many things, and they know that she's guilty. And Nicholas sitting there talking about, well, there's no proof. That doesn't mean that she's innocent just because there's no proof linking her to anything. And I was happy that Ava pointed that out to him. All the illegal crap that her and Nicholas have pulled off, there's no proof to anything illegal that they've done either. Like, look at the Hayden thing. There's no proof that links Nicholas to that, but yet he did it, and I'm glad she threw that in his face. They both are guilty of crimes that were never proven in court. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that they didn't do them. And it was so funny how Ava admitted to Nicholas that she went to Sonny to handle Esme. He need to remember who his wife is and that she's a gangster. Like, please remember who Ava Jerome is. Um, and Ava pretty much laid down the law with him. She was like, listen, she gave him an ultimatum. It's either Esme or me. Which one you want? Because we're both not staying here. And Nicholas pretty much stood firm on his, he stood his ground. And I don't blame Ava for leaving. But this is not the Ava that I know. I'm seeing a different Ava. Because the Ava Jerome that I know, for one, when she said that she was going to take care of Esme, she would have never went to Sunny to handle it. Ava usually handles her problems her way, by herself. She never needs a man to handle her issues. So the fact that she went to Sunny about it, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that one. And the fact that she's allowing Nicholas to just move people into Windermere without talking to her first. I mean, granted, it's his house, but they're married. So as husband and wife, those need to be conversations that they have together about who can move in, who, you know what I mean? It was Nicholas is being totally stupid at this point. Um, so anyway, Esme was still, hesitating about taking this pregnancy test because she feels like if she's not pregnant, then that means she's gonna be alone. Spencer, little stupid self, sitting there talking about something. Well, even if you're not pregnant, you can still stay at Windermere. I'm like, no, she can't. If she's not pregnant, kick her out. That was the whole point of y'all letting her move in there because y'all think she's pregnant and she's scared of Sunny or whatever. But if she's not pregnant, throw her out. What are y'all doing? So she decided to go take the pregnancy test and whatnot. We don't know the results. We're probably not gonna know what the results are until tomorrow's episode and whatnot. But I'm like, I don't believe she's pregnant. I really don't. So anyway, moving on from that. I totally understand where Laura was coming from. I get that she wanted Elizabeth to turn the other cheek with her parents and pretty much forgive her parents and, invite them back into her life or whatever. I get where Laura coming from, but I wouldn't be doing that foolishness. I get where she coming from, but if I was Elizabeth, I would not reconcile anything with the parents because they chose to be out of her life for decades. Over 2 decades, they chose to not be bothered with her. She went through a lot of bad things in her life that her parents should have been there for, and they chose to stay away. You know what I mean? Like, she went through a rape, she went through mental breakdowns, she went through divorces, miscarriages, having children, a spouse dying. She has been through a lot of things. Not once did her parents reach out to her when she was going through those things. They only chose recently to try to reach out. And it's like, yes, sorry, no. I wouldn't do it, and I don't blame Elizabeth for being pissed off at her parents because I would be too. Um, you know, I would be too. I don't blame Elizabeth. Um, I can understand why Jake is keeping things from Elizabeth in terms of like him speaking to her parents and stuff because I think he's doing it because he just doesn't want to upset her. I don't think he has anything to do with this whole stalking situation or whatever it is she's going through. Um, but no, I don't think she should reconcile with her parents for the kids' sake. I think that would be a bad thing to do. Her parents should have been reached out to her, if you want my honest opinion. Um, so anyway, Elizabeth was having some dream or whatever of a shadowy figure in her house. And the figure was telling her not to forget him or whatever. And "Don't forget me" was written on a photo in red ink. I don't know what to make of this. Like, I don't know if Elizabeth is having multiple personality disorder. I don't know what's going on with Liz, but she need to figure this out. I don't know what's going on with her. Um, I don't know. Like, is she having a breakdown of sorts? Like, who's doing this to her, or is she doing this to herself? Because I'm confused right now of what's going on. So anyway, moving on from that. So Gregory is back in town with his little rude ass. He was totally rude to Brooklyn. I didn't like it. He was totally rude to her. Um, blaming her for Chase being suspended and stuff like that. I'm like, that wasn't her fault. Chase is a grown man who chose violence. He chose to punch Valentine in the face. Um, Everything Chase did was his choice. BLQ did not force him into anything. She didn't blackmail him into anything. He chose to be there for her and do certain things. So you can't blame her for that. Talk to your boy about that. Don't blame her. But I am glad that, he did apologize to her because he knew he was wrong, as he should. Um, like, you don't sit there and be rude to her. Like, for what? She didn't do anything, to your son. So why sit there and be rude? Chase continues to talk about how him and BLQ are just friends. I'm like, listen, y'all need to get out this friend zone nonsense and start being a couple because they both know that they like each other. Even Gregory was asking Chase about it. I'm like, listen, y'all both like each other, so let's stop the foolishness and become a couple. Because I'm over it at this point. Like, I really am. I'm ready for them to just be together. Because at Deception, the girls and Amy and all them, they were still pushing BLQ to ask Chase to sing and stuff, sing one of the songs, and she was like, no, because he's not interested. He would be interested if she just opened her mouth to him and tell her how she feel, and they both. It's a communication issue between them. They're not being honest with each other, and that's the problem. Like, and they need to start. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, Brad is still trying to get him a job at the hospital or whatever. Terry, she's still on the fence about hiring him back because I don't blame her. Like, him working in the lab again is a no. It's a hell to the no. Um, it's a big no no. It's I wouldn't do it. So she offered him an orderly position. You know what I mean? Like, you got to start back at the bottom or start somewhere. Because not everybody at the hospital is going to want Brad back, especially after all the shenanigans he pulled. And, of course, I seen some people on Twitter talking about it. And they were talking about how she doesn't need Lucas's approval to rehire Brad. I don't think she needs his approval because obviously not. She's the co-chief of staff. I think she's worried about how Lucas would feel emotionally about Brad being back. I think she's just trying to be considerate of Brad. Um, she don't want to be disrespectful. I think she just wants to be considerate of how Lucas may feel about Brad being back in the hospital. Um, I would be more happy about this if we actually saw Lucas, because I hate that they mention him, but we don't ever get to see Lucas. Because I'm ready to see Lucas and see him and Brad interact. Amy was not happy about Brad being back at the hospital and stuff like, or potentially coming back to the hospital. And, of course, Terry reprimanded Amy because she was acting unprofessional. Um, I totally get where Amy coming from too. Like I said, he pissed off a lot of people that work there. You know what I'm saying? So they're not too keen on him coming back to that position. I can't say that I blame the hospital staff. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fault them for not being thrilled about him possibly coming back, not after all the foolishness he's done. Um, Even though Amy did act, totally unprofessional, but she was pretty much begging Terry not to rehire him. She said, no, no, no. I don't blame her. You know what I mean? Can't blame you. It's it's not an ideal situation for nobody. So anyway, moving on from that, so Miss Wu pretty much sent one of her thugs to get Britt or whatever so they could have their little lunch meeting and whatnot. And she pretty much threatened Britt. Like, she's blackmailing her at this point. Um, Apparently, Selena knows Faison. And she knows that, Britt and Faison were on the run for a while. Because remember, they were on the run together. Before they came back in 2017 when the whole Jason mess came out. So it was something I guess Britt did that was illegal while they were on the run, and Selena's pretty much using that against Britt. Hopefully we find out what exactly is she holding over her head. Um, Selena just got the goods on that girl. Hopefully Britt could find a way to get up out of this. You know what I want to see? I want to see Britt go to Obrecht. I want to see Britt go to Obrecht and tell her about Miss Wu. That's the scenes I want to see. Miss Wu versus Lisa. I think that would be so freaking awesome. I think it would be. I really do. I think it would be so fun to watch them go toe to toe. I would be inclined to see something like that. Can you imagine the scenes of Lisa and Selena? I think that should be hot. I think the claws would definitely. Oh my god. I am so sorry, y'all. My thing done fell. But yeah, the claws would definitely be out between the both of them, and I'm totally here for it. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought about it, and I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.